That's that lovely lady who's 21 years old who just walked in. The one in green, that's her, that's her. That's my minister over there. And then we also, Minister, I said to the sound engineers that there is one song that we need to play just to lift the mood a little bit and speak to this particular occasion. Can we pump up the music? Can we get a bit of energy? Yeah. Woo! Yeah! Who can dance? Who can dance? I need a dancer. I need a dancer. Who can dance? Who can dance? Okay, okay. Come forward, come. And I want to work with Sanjay, La Agulhas Lighthouse Precinct. A very, very good morning to you once again, everybody. My name is Agulhas Infrastructure. I've indicated the media liaison officer for the Minister of Tourism, Patricia DeLille, and the spokesperson for the Minister, and your program director for today. Can we please just give a round of applause for everybody who made this possible? What an incredible moment, what an incredible moment. The moment that speaks about partnership. As het samenwerken in Afrikaans. My Afrikaans is even so goed nie. Was it Susan who was saying earlier on mengelmoes? Is that it? As in mengelmoes. Maar probeer. Ek probeer. Okay, so we're going to start off our program officially this morning as we launch this project and hand it over to the community, because it's all about the community and the community that will benefiting from this, and also growing our tourism industry and growing the number of people who come and choose this specific country and this specific point, which is the southernmost tip of the African continent. I think that there's something spiritual about it. There must be something spiritual about it. Imagine having that moment where you are standing at the southernmost tip of the beautiful African continent. And for many of you, this place is called home. And we want to thank you for allowing us into your space. Let's start off our program this morning. I'm going to call on the Cape Agulhas Local Municipality Councillor, Andres Eckstein, to come and open today's session with a prayer as well as welcoming remarks. Councillor?
I was asked to do the welcome and the prayer. I would like to welcome you to the southernmost ward in South Africa, where the two oceans truly meet. And this is an historic occasion with the official opening. Have you all here? We are also honored with the presence of Minister Patricia de Lille, Minister of Tourism, and glad to have you here again. I was here when you were here the last time, and it's good to see you are still young and vibrant. And then Minister of Sea Fisheries and Forestry, Minister Willie Oukamp. Thank you for being here and your presence, and also the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Mkhotsu Sotoy. Am I right? Something like that. And then all other delegates, the Mayor of Overberg District Municipality, Councillor Alderman Franken, and also the Deputy Mayor, Elder Lady Helen Coetzee, and also the Municipal Manager, Mr. Eben Phillips. Thank you for being here. I know the Municipal Manager for Cape Agulhas was here this morning. I know he had another appointment to be Mr. Wessel Rabets. And all other delegates, thank you for being here. Thank you that you grace us with your presence, and every one of the residents that's here. When everybody leaves, you will stay behind. And we are so glad to have you as part of this community. And thank you for your input and everything that you do also in this community to keep it as beautiful as it is. So, as I said, I was asked to say a prayer for this opening, and I therefore ask you to let us bow our heads and let us receive this blessing and this prayer, and let's pray together. Our gracious and eternal Heavenly Father, we gather here today at this southern edge of this continent, where two oceans meet and horizons stretch beyond what the eye can see, to mark the opening of this lighthouse precinct in Cape Agulhas. We thank you for this place, rich in history, beauty and meaning, and for the people whose vision and labor have brought this moment to life. We thank you for all of that. Lord, a lighthouse stands as more than stone and light. It is a sign of guidance in darkness, a steady presence in uncertainty, and a promise of safe passage through troubled waters. In its being, we see a reflection of a deeper truth, that humanity is never meant to drift without direction, nor to be lost without hope. A hope we only find in you. Lord, we pray that this lighthouse, as it may speak prophetically to all that behold it, that even in the storms of life, there is a light that cannot be overcome, a light that calls us home, that warms us with wisdom, and that invites us toward compassion, justice, and unity. Let it remind us that each of us, in our own way, is called to be a bearer of light in the world, standing firm, shining faithfully, and guiding others with love. We pray your blessing upon this day of celebration. Bless all who have gathered here, all who will visit this place, all who will find meaning in its light. May this precinct become a space of reflection, inspiration, and renewal. A place where hearts are lifted and spirits are strengthened. Watch over the seas that surround this point, Lord, and over all who travel upon them. Grant safety to sailors, wisdom to leaders, and courage to those who face life on certain tides. And may the light that shines from this lighthouse be a symbol of your enduring presence, steady, faithful, and ever-reaching, reminding us always that no darkness is too great for light to overcome. We dedicate this place to your glory and to the service of all people. This we
Thank you so much for that, Councillor. Now that this occasion has officially been blessed, it gives me the privilege to now call on the Zoetendal Academy Primary School, who will be delivering this country's national anthem. And if you listen to the country's national anthem, it's actually also a prayer. Nkosi Sikeleli Afrika. Please put your hands together for the Zoetendal Academy Primary School. Just look at these little ones, eh? Can we please stand as we are about to sing the national anthem? for this project, because this is what we said, it's all about the community and the community benefiting from this project. I'm going to call on Robert Collar, who is going to quickly speak to us about what Robert has been able to achieve through this partnership. We also recorded a podcast with him yesterday, so please look out for Tourism Talks podcast, because he speaks quite passionately about this project and also benefiting from this project. It's all about the skills that are being transferred as well. Robert, are you around? Oh, Darcy. Please, a warm round of applause for Robert for that.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Robert, as you heard, from Strathspey. Yeah, this is a surprise, but anyway, in 2022, when this project was awarded, there was a position for 3 contractors to be part of this project, and I applied. I got the job, and then I could give 10 participants also work. And since 2022 till 2024, we were busy here. We helped, so the paving that you walked on, we cleared it there so the paving could come there. The stairwell that goes to the lighthouse, we did excavation for the stairway, the walkway, we dug the trenches, we removed boulders that's bigger than me, we removed out of that just to be so that you can have a nice passage there. And we also benefited a lot with training that was given to us, especially the participants. We had normal training with health and safety first aid, but the most important was the accredited training that we got. Painting, decorating, and then also horticulture. And through that, some of our participants, they got permanent jobs through those accredited training that we received. So this project really benefited us as a community. It gave us employment for 2 years. As you know, employment is a bit of a problem in our country, but we had work for 2 years, and afterwards we weren't just staying at home. We could do something with the training and with the experience that we got while working here. So yes, this project really meant a lot to the community, and it's going to mean a lot to the community in the future, because a lot of job opportunities. I see my friend Tapelo's got a stall here. He was standing along the road. Now he's got a store right here at the precinct, so it's going to help us as a community benefit financially and economically as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Did you pick up that passion that I was speaking about? And also how he still remembers what happened back in 2022. Life-changing events and life-changing moments that are being created. Because we want to be extra. I'm going to call on another beneficiary just quickly. Noel, are you here? Is Noel here? Noel isn't here. Okay, so maybe where's there he is. Noel Bastian is the owner of Needles Restaurant. This beautiful restaurant right here on your right hand side. This is the name.
Thank you, all protocol observed. Thank you for everyone that's here. This is a surprise, don't put me on the spotlight like this, but it's good to be here. We're excited to be being awarded the tender. It was a lengthy process, but eventually we made it, and we were awarded the tender to operate and manage this beautiful, iconic restaurant, the most southern restaurant on the continent of Africa. So we are, my wife and myself, we have invested into agriculture, food and tourism. So we're excited for this opportunity. In partnership with SANParks, obviously, with a public-private partnership. The support, I want to highlight that we received from SANParks through this process. Everything is clear, stipulated legally, binded contracts that we entered into, clear stipulation in terms of the regulatory requirements, because we are in a conservation area. it's important for our staff and you know, all our employees to understand, you know, those environmental how to conduct ourselves within the park. That was for us. It's new. Obviously, in Cape Agulhas, you will come and visit the food. I'm not going to talk too much about the food and the wine. You'll have to come and taste it. But our slogan is "Come and taste the tip of Africa." So. Diraj specifically, I want to say thank you, Diraj and Wendy Davids, thank you for, you know, welcoming us in the precinct as well, making sure that we are ready for our opening, which is today as well. Our staff has been all locally sourced and trained. We have one special staff member that is not from the local area. He's from Stellenbosch. He worked at a, you know, high profile restaurant there. But his job is to come and train, educate, transfer those skills. We have a facility here, and that facility we need to optimize to get the tourists staying longer, like the Minister Okam just mentioned there. You know, to keep the tourists there a bit longer so that they can spend, so that we can create jobs. And you know, jobs is a big challenge for us in this community. And all our products that we will be procuring mostly from local businesses, specifically the fishermen. Minister Okam is under a lot of pressure here. The local fishing communities are in Arniston, in space by under immense pressure. So we've assisted through one of our other investments companies to assist the applications through this Small Enterprise Development Finance Agency. And we just got approval 2 weeks ago from them for 8 local cooperatives to capacitate them with boats and a little bit of working capital to run their businesses. And that the idea there is to actually use them and actually then bring them into the restaurant. And then what the last thing I can speak a lot. Sorry, the last note that I think you're all going to enjoy is the local wines. We also got our wine license about a week ago, Minister. So everything just happened at once. So we approached all the local wineries and the local wine farms. They've organized themselves in the Agulhas Wine Triangle. And the idea is to educate our waiters and our staff on the wine business, because, and then obviously if we can sell. We don't have our license yet, but the idea is to, when the bus stops here, we want to actually ship the wine directly to wherever, to Germany or to Hong Kong or Tokyo or Brazil, wherever. So we will need a little bit more support on that, but there is not a platform to talk about that. Thank you very much. We are grateful. We also want to be like the lighthouse. The Needles wants to be a light in this community. Thank you.
Noel, you already started being a light, and well done, congratulations. Entrepreneurs who also change lives. And now moving on to the partners who make all of this possible. I'm now going to call on the South African National Parks Interim Board Chairperson, Ms. Beryl Ferguson, to please come and give us her remarks on behalf of SANParks.
That was a very hard act to follow. In fact, when I talk now, it's going to be pretty boring, but I'll do my best. Ministers, tourism, Minister Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, very welcome. Thank you for being here. Somehow the mic's not working either. Deputy Minister of Tourism, Ms. Maggie Sutton, our Overburg District Mayor, Alderman Andries Franklin, Councillor Andries Backstream, Cape Agulhas Municipality, Director General of Tourism, Mr. Victor Vere, and our SANParks CEO, Mr. Agulhas. So good morning to everybody, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, Goeiemorgen, Morweni. It is truly an honor to join you here today at Cape Agulhas, a place that occupies a unique position in our country's geography, our history, and our identity, the southernmost tip of our beautiful continent. So welcome, We celebrate today in the month of April. The month of April is our month of freedom, and I think it's extremely significant, the celebration today. SANParks, we are certainly privileged to be custodians of places that matter deeply to South Africans, and that's across the country. Not only for its ecological value, but for their cultural meaning and their potential to improve lives. The handover of the Agulhas National Park Lighthouse Precinct represents exactly that intersection. This project is tangible proof that conservation, heritage preservation, and development are not competing goals. When approached thoughtfully and collaboratively, they reinforce one another. The Lighthouse Precinct is a result of a strong partnership between SANParks, the Department of Tourism, and the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, supported by provincial, by local, by community stakeholders. It reflects significant public investment. More than 82 million was directed not only at infrastructure, but at a long-term value creation. Importantly, this investment has delivered real social economic outcomes, and we can see it happening around us. Local employment opportunities were created, local SMMEs were supported, and community members gained skills, as we heard earlier, that extend beyond the project. It didn't stop there, it extends beyond. These are the outcomes that matter, particularly in rural and coastal areas like these. These opportunities are often limited, but today we see it matters. It matters to us. At the heart of SANParks' mandate is the principle of inclusive stewardship. Our national parks are not islands, separated from people who live around them. They are shared national assets that must contribute to human well-being, our safeguard, natural and cultural heritage for our future generations. This is not for you and I sitting in the room. It's for my grandchildren, my grandchildren's grandchildren, and so it goes. On behalf of SANParks Board, I wish to thank the ministers, Dalo and Alkan, and the respective departments for their leadership, our SANParks management, and the staff of their commitment, the local community for their participation and partnerships throughout this journey. As SANParks, we remain committed to ensuring that this precinct is actively managed, well maintained, and responsive to community and visitor needs, so that it continues to serve as a shared space. And I'm going to emphasize a shared space that delivers value long after today's event and long after the event. And I thank you, and I look forward to the continued collaboration that projects such as these make possible. I truly have been blown away today. We walked around, and there were times that I actually didn't know what to say. So thank you to the ministers, thank you to the departments. More importantly, thank you to the communities that have held hands with us. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that. That is the interim board chairperson of the South African National Parks, Beryl Ferguson. We move on now swiftly. Ms. Ferguson has just mentioned the Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Veli Okamp, who's also here with us this morning. And we're going to hear from him, his message of support, and also why this moment is so important for all of us. Minister.
Goeiemôre almal, good morning. I see a lot of familiar faces when I stand here, people that I've been actually growing up in front of, and one of them is Minister De Lille. My father and Minister De Lille used to be members of Parliament together, and they actually formed a great friendship, and it's such a privilege for me to continue with that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to firstly acknowledge you, Minister De Lille, also the Deputy Minister, Ms. Maggie Sotju, the District Mayor of the Oeverberg District, Alderman Andries Franken, Councillor Andries Eksteen of the Cape Agulhas Municipality, the Director General of Tourism, Mr. Victor Vele, my interim board chairperson of SANParks, Ms. Beryl Ferguson, as well as the SANParks CEO, Ms. Hapil Weselo. Ladies and gentlemen, it really is a great privilege for me to join today's proceedings. And I think it is very appropriate that we gather here at Cape Agulhas, which is a place that really defined history and endurance at the southernmost tip of this beautiful continent of ours. This site has both national and international significance. For decades, this lighthouse behind us has served a practical purpose, safeguarding ships. Today, through this precinct out here, it is also serving a broader public purpose. The handover of the Agulhas National Park Lighthouse Precinct is not only a milestone for tourism and infrastructure, it is a practical demonstration of how heritage preservation, environmental stewardship, and economic development can be achieved together. From the side of my Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, we regard this project as strongly being aligned with our mandate. And we want to thank the Department of Tourism in strengthening our hands in that. Through SANParks, we are entrusted with safeguarding our natural and cultural heritage. And there's water falling on me. That must be a good sign. I'm getting baptized at the most southern point of this continent. We are committed to ensuring that conservation delivers social and economic value in a responsible and sustainable way. I've got to clean my glasses. It is absolutely not true that growing the economy and creating jobs stand in opposition to protecting the environment. Those two are mutually inclusive. We've got to make sure that we find that sweet spot. And I think that this precinct has done exactly that. This lighthouse, therefore, reflects balance. Through the collaboration with the Department of Tourism, SANParks and other spheres of government, this site has been upgraded into a functional, accessible and well-managed visitor center that clearly combines the effort that we've put into this place. It also tells us that the 81 million rand that has been spent here signals a clear intention that heritage infrastructure should be managed, improved and used to support inclusive growth. Equally important are the amount of jobs that were created whilst this project was ongoing. 117 people were employed during this project through 9 SMMEs. Now that this project is finished, it will create permanent positions to roughly 30 people. That's direct employment. But what we also tend to forget sometimes is to look at the secondary employment, the stimulus that this gives from a tourism perspective to this whole region. We heard that the restaurant owner, Noel, when we met him earlier today, spoke about how he's going to advance the wine industry and other agricultural industries in this area. Go and look at how that will have an implication and a positive effect on job creation. For communities living in and around protected areas such as this, these outcomes that we are trying to achieve here matter. They reinforce the principle that conservation is not about exclusion, but about shared long-term values. This new interpretation center that's to my left is particularly important in this regard. It provides a structured space to explain the environmental, maritime and cultural history of Cape Agulhas. Education and interpretation remain a vital and important part of what we are trying to achieve here. This also aligns with SANParks' commitment to inclusive access across our national parks system. And I want to thank you, Chairperson, and I want to thank the people of SANParks here for carrying out that commitment and taking on that responsibility. Program Director, projects such as this underline the importance of cooperation across government departments. When planning and cooperation is done properly, tourism becomes a mechanism to support conservation objectives. And therefore, it is really a huge privilege for me to again thank Minister De Lille and your department. I want to get a bit of script when it comes to this part. You all know that we had a lot of floods up in the northeastern parts of our country. And there's a lot of damage in Kruger National Park. And without me even having to approach Minister De Lille, she approached me and offered 56 million rand of EPWP work for the Kruger National Park. I think we can give her a huge round of applause. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this shows you what can happen if we are willing to work together. I think what we are seeing is the successes of this government of national unity in practice, and we will keep on doing that. I would also like to acknowledge the ongoing role of SANParks in now managing this precinct. One thing is to build it. The other thing is to manage it and to keep on maintaining it. We've already heard yesterday night when you spoke with me about the plans that you've got there. Plans for putting up a whale-themed play park for children. We will really support that. As we move forward, it is important that facilities such as this remain active. It must be well maintained and responsive to community needs. This Lighthouse Precinct should continue to function as a shared space that supports tourism, education, community activities, and environmental awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, this restaurant's name is Needles. Now, this might be something that you don't know. The name La Agulhas means needles. Now, it can refer to the rocky formations, but I've also learned that it refers to the needles on a compass. Because when you pass this most southern tip of the African continent, your compass needle shows to true north and not magnetic north. So if you want to find your true north, come to Agulhas. You will find it here. Thank you very much.
So come and find your true north, as you heard the minister there saying. Minister Velu Okam, thank you so much for that. And now we're going to get a bit of entertainment. A bit of entertainment, a bit of dance, you know, because that energy needs to always be there. That defines South Africa as well. You know, when you look at Tyler, and you look at some of those dance challenges that Tyler has on TikTok, they are global. It's because there's no other on Sofuta, as you were 6 speel, on skin what we do, ne? And you can what you do, ne? Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's call on the Strays Bay Primary Dance Group to come and give us what their feet have to offer. Look at them. Little ones once again.
female version of the hustler. What you say? She ain't no diva. I like to reach her. What you say? She ain't no diva. She ain't no diva. She's such a diva.
Well done. That's that energy that I was speaking about. You know, so sometimes when we travel, Minister, and people will be like, "You from South Africa?" "Yeah, I'm from South Africa." "Okay, what dance move do you know?" "Please don't ask me to dance. Some of us are not that gifted." Unfortunately not. Let's give another round of applause to the Strides by Primary Dance Group. They'll be joining us again a bit later on. And now for the moment of truth, we're going to welcome our Minister of Tourism, Patricia de Lille, to come and give us her keynote address. Minister? Are you going to dance? Oh, she did dance earlier on, right?
Good morning. Already? Assalamu alaikum. It's so good to be back. It's so good to be back. My colleague Minister Okam, thank you for joining us today. Our Deputy Minister, my sister, our DG Vele, the interim chair of SANParks board, Beryl. Then we also have the acting CEO of SA Tourism, Shamila Chetia. The CEO of SANParks. I've come to know her better over some time, and she's really one of those bright stars in the sector. So I'm always happy to see you, Hakilo. Then, of course, our Executive Mayor of the Overberg District, Alderman Saki Franken. Thank you for being here. And then the Deputy Mayor of the Overberg District Municipality, Alderman Helen Coetzee. Die wordt al jonger. And the Executive Mayor of the Overstand Municipality, Councillor Archie Klaas. Welcome, welcome. Last but not least, also Councillor Andries Ekstein. Councillor Ekstein, who is representing the Cape Agulhas local municipality. And then, of course, to our community members that are here. The people living here, these youngsters that were dancing for us earlier on. This is all about you, the future generation. We're handing it over to you. And therefore, it is so important that you watch us so that we don't mess up your future. So today we gather at a place of profound meaning, like Minister Okam said. The most southern part of the African continent, where the two oceans meet, but also just nature converge here. It is here at the Cape Agulhas that we are very proud of the partnership and the collaboration between the two departments to launch this project, final part of the project today, 81 million rand. We're handing it over to the community. We're handing it over to SANParks to operate, to maintain, and make sure that we keep it in the same stage. But I always like to start with the thank yous. And I want to thank everyone here in this hall, everyone, from the departments, from the local municipality, the district municipality. Because each and every one, we made our own contribution in our own way. Then, of course, I was here 2 years ago, in March of 2024. I came to do an oversight visit to see if everything is still on track, any stumbling blocks. You know, government always takes ages to complete things, and then you only hear the problems at the end. But I came here 2 years ago to make sure that the project is on track. And today we see what your hands, your imagination have delivered for the local community, for tourists that will be flocking to this area. So I think once again, let us give all our stakeholders, all our participants, a warm hand of applause and say thank you. Yes, we have created jobs during the project phase. We supported local SMMEs. And that is a clear demonstration that tourism, if you build tourism infrastructure, it can contribute directly to job creation and economic growth. And this was only possible through collaboration, us all working together. Whether it is in a partnership with government, the private sector, that cooperation made this project possible. But this is not the first successful project of partnership and collaboration with SANParks and the Department of Environment, Fisheries and Forests. I always leave one out. Just last year, in June of last year, together with SANParks and the department, we launched the Gedumudumo Center, Dinosaur Interpretation Center in Clarence in the Free State. Now that is where our Deputy Minister comes from. It's her province. And that illustrated also the collaboration and the cooperation. And that dinosaur embryo that was discovered there is more than 200 million years old. So the real Jurassic Park is here by us, not there in America, they're dreaming. But it's right here in our own continent, in the Golden Gate Park, Minister, right here. And since we launched it in June last year, we've seen over 88,000 visitors going there. So please put this on your bucket list that you do want to go and visit the Gadomodomo Dinosaur Interpretation Center. That was another successful collaboration. But what this also illustrates, that Africa is just not the cradle of humankind, we're also the cradle of culture. And that is what the dinosaur interpretation is showing us. Now, in his State of the Nation address, earlier this year, President Cyril Ramaphosa said that and instructed us to promote unique culture, historical and natural attractions in our country. And this is certainly one of them. We are going to, as we market South Africa as a destination, make sure that the Gadomodomo Center at Cape Agulhas is prominent there. Because what this also helps us with, there is a perception about South Africa that we're all about safaris, yes? Then people must still come and do the safaris. They must still come to Table Mountain. But if we want to attract more visitors to our country, we have to show new tourism products. And this is another one of those that's going to help us to diversify our tourism offering to the rest of the world. But the confidence that I've seen illustrated by the private sector to invest in tourism infrastructure. Just last week at the Presidential Infrastructure Investment Summit, where as a country, we secured commitments and pledges of over 890 million rand. But what for me stood out for that day, that out of that 890 billion, 450 billion came from local investments. Us investing in our own country, over 75% of those pledges. And this is a signal that we are shifting from the investment strike that we had many years ago, and that had plagued our country for many years, that our local investors now have confidence to invest in our own country. And we must recognize that, because that drives the positive sentiment about our country. And today, as you can see here, this whole precinct is not just about bricks and mortar, but it's also about creating jobs to continue to maintain. And I did ask SANParks who will be responsible for the maintenance of this. And SANParks has got that commitment, Minister, that they will continue to do the maintenance. Because we need to be ready when disaster strikes. And like Minister Okam said, you've seen the destruction in Mpumalanga and Limpopo of the recent floods that we've had there. Now, we jumped in as tourism because if we wanted the tourism facilities and assets to continue to work as soon as possible. Because the moment they are not operating, they still have to clean out, they have to repair, and they have to rebuild. It impacts on the tourism sector directly, and it impacts on jobs. So we said, let's jump in and help the minister so that we can help with the cleaning up of all the infrastructure that was destroyed. And we did not only jump in to help the public sector establishment, we helped both public and private establishments so that we could get tourism back as soon as possible. Now, we've just been to the 60-seater restaurant. I look forward to go and taste the food there later on. And maybe something stronger if the Boeing has gone over after one. But again, you know, we can see the potential of this 60-seater restaurant. But we also must market that restaurant. And I like the pitch of Noel, that when he said, come and taste the tip of Africa. Because that is true, and we need to get more South Africans, our domestic tourists, to come here. So before the next long weekend, because that's when South Africans get out and always add an extra leave day to make it longer, we need to aggressively get out into the domestic market to market the restaurant and to market Cape Agulhas. Because this project is also a plan that was approved by Cabinet a few months ago. That is the Tourism Growth Partnership Plan. And there we recognize as government cannot do it alone. We must never pretend that we can do it alone, because we can't. And so partnership with the private sector is very, very important. So Cape Agulhas is not just a national asset with unique biodiversity and cultural heritage, but it's also a global landmark. When we were watching earlier on that all of those ships that are being diverted away from the Middle East is now coming around the coast here, there's also benefit for us as a country. We must just fix our ports and make sure that we're able to service them. So this 187-year-old lighthouse, we told, is the second oldest in our country, and it's still operational. So I'm sure you're able to guide all of those big vessels. As the Overberg District Development Champion, I encourage everyone to place Agulhas Lighthouse Precinct firmly on your bucket list. All of us, one thing we're all certain of, all gonna die one day. So put this on your bucket list. Put Hudimudumu on your bucket list and say, I want to go there before I die. So I then want to say to our brothers and sisters from across the continent, from Cape to Cairo, from Morocco to Malagasy, that this is the most southern part, and like Minister Okam said, you can connect to the most northern part. There is a difference, Minister. Where the most northern part is in Morocco, that whole precinct is fenced in, and people have to pay to get to this most northern part of the continent, not here by us. This is going to be open to the public, and it's going to be free. So from east to west, this is where the warm Indian Ocean meets the cold Atlantic Ocean, embracing our beautiful continent. And perhaps this is why coexistence comes so naturally to us, as it's reflected in our Government of National Unity. It's almost a natural coexistence, which stands as a testament of the future of our country. So in closing, I want to say once again, Minister, I look forward to continue to working with you. I think there are still many, many opportunities. Government must stop saying, oh, we don't have money. We do have the money. We must just learn how to manage it. And this you can see. You put the money of the Department of Environmental Affairs together with the Department of Tourism, and we were able to pull off this. So we need to continue to share resources, and we need to continue to make sure that we give value for money for every cent of the taxpayers' money. It's not ours. We must make sure that we look after the taxpayers' money and give the taxpayers in our country value for money. So I thank you very much, and may God bless you.
So the minister just mentions to me, listen, I didn't recognize the program director. I feel so unimportant, Minister. Once again, a round of applause to the Minister of Tourism, Patricia de Lille. And as somebody who joined the department in August last year, I have to say, Minister, the Minister's not joking when she speaks about partnership. It is something that she preaches every single day, and every single day in our meetings as well. Why partnership is so important. Government can't do it alone. That's what she always says. But what we know as well is that the private sector can't do it alone as well. And that's why these collaborations are so important. And now we see this collaboration also finding expression within government as well, and this cooperation between government and government entities. Thank you so much for all of the work that you've done. Minister Okam, thank you so much to SANParks as well, and Minister de Lille, DG, Msebenzi Mkhulu. Well done. DM, are you ready, DM, to come and take over? DM is not ready. Okay, so we are going to move on to part 3 of our program. But before we get to part 3 of our program, we're going to get the dancers back. Part 3 of our program is an opportunity now for you as the community to engage with the stakeholders, to engage with the politicians who would be led by the Minister of Tourism, Patricia de Lille, right here on the podium. There will be a roaming mic. We'll bring through the roaming mic. All you have to do is put up your hand and we'll come to you with the roaming mic. Ask any questions in relation to this project and the benefits of this project, and also questions related to how the community would be benefiting from this project. So please do have your comments and your questions on standby. We'll be taking those as soon as we have the panel that will be joining us on the stage. But for now, once again, please put your hands together for Strides by Primary Dance Group. They're going to give us another hit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the ministers. It is such a privilege to be here and to stand here. But we don't want to dance alone, you know. And the director said earlier that we must dance together. So we're just going to do a little icebreaker. I want everyone to get out of their seats and just stand up. You don't have to be scared. And then I'm going to ask my dancers, they're going to stand in front. Come on. And the 2 boys, you can stand next to me. And I think some of us know the cha-cha slide. The cha-cha slide. Yes. It's a celebration. Okay, you can face me. Turn around. Okay, you can just follow the dancers. And yes, DJ. Drop that music.
We're gonna get funky, 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 funky. Everybody clap your hands. Clap, clap, clap your hands.
Sure, people are out of breath now, eh? Felt like an exercise. To the left, to the left. To the right, to the right. And then to the back, to the back.
1, 2.
And slide. Let's give another round of applause to the group. So it's the last part of our program now, and this is the very important one, and that is you as community members being able to engage with our principals and ask them tough questions. I allow you to ask tough questions relating to this precinct. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call on the panel that are going to be sitting and joining the minister on the table there. Minister, please, if you can make your way onto the podium. The minister will be joined by the South African National Parks Interim Board Chairperson, Beryl Ferguson. We also have the Cape Agulhas Municipality Councillor, Andres Eckstein, the Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Veli Okamp, as well as the Deputy Minister of Tourism, Mr. Maggie Sokyu, the Overberg District Executive Mayor, Alderman Andries Franken, and our DG for the Department of Tourism, Victor Vele. If you can please grab a seat right here in front on the stage, and then we will start our community engagement.
Thank you to everyone. We had agreed to have this session because I think those days must be over. When we come as leaders, we speak and we lead. We must learn to listen more and get advice and get ideas from you, so that when we hand over this project, we know that we can rely on the community, all of you, to look after this project. So it's really, we want to listen. We might not have all your answers today, but we will certainly come back to you. So it's your turn now. But please don't be like politicians who make long speeches, and at the end you don't even know what they said. So over to you. Please engage with us. Thank you.
All right, so please put up your hand, a short intro, who you are, where you're from, and who you are directing your question or comment to. Very good morning.
Pierre Marseille is the point living in the Ken Patricia work. I'm a local. I'm streaming for various media houses. Just a question. What do you regard as our biggest challenges as far as tourism goes in South Africa? Then more particularly, for people it's thinking, what do you do if some rich Japanese or German tourist calls you in Johannesburg and he says, "Madam, sorry, there's no water coming out of the taps"? Thank you.
Okay, any other question, comment? Okay, we're going to take them in batches of 3. I'll come to the next person after this.
Hi, I'm Diana, community member of Arniston. I just have one question. How will the surrounding towns like Arniston and Buffalo's, how will we benefit in this project? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Any other question, comment? Okay, right here at the back.
Morning, everybody. Lorinda now. I'm the chairperson for CAVA. Those of you who know CAVA, it's the Cape Palace Business Association. My question is to the Minister of Fisheries, Mr. Okom. What is the possibility that something similar to a fish factory in Saldanha, those places, could become a viable option for our fishermen in this area? Businesses grow, tourism grow, but the jobs stay few. And I think with a factory or something in the line that we can use our fishermen. These people have grown up catching fish. Honeston have grown up catching fish. So if we can have something similar to that, I heard 56 million. Can we use a bit of that money to improve the circumstances of our fishermen in the area? Because that is the livelihood over and above tourism. What is the possibility for that?
Thank you so much for that. Minister, you can take over in the meantime.
All right, so let me start off then with answering that last question first, Lorinda. There will always be the possibility to look into that. I think what needs to be done is we first must do a viability assessment on what will work here. We cannot go and plant millies in a place where you've got to do fruit, and likewise. We've got to see what's going to work here, what the transport and infrastructure effect thereof will be, and then we must also do a proper assessment from an environmental point of view to see whether that will fall in and be in harmony with what we've got here. I am definitely not opposed to anything like that. And I think that comes back also to the question that was asked just before about the people of Buffels, Jagsfontein and other places like Honeston. This project is not only Agulhas' project, it is a region's project. If you look at the spin-offs, and I've mentioned that when I addressed you earlier on, there's about 30 jobs that's going to be created now, directly here on this precinct. But there's a lot of other jobs and economic opportunities that comes out of this. All of a sudden, tourists will stay longer in this town. Guest houses will make more money in and around this town. Guest houses make more money, they employ more people. All of a sudden, your local fuel station must maybe increase. They must make more pies because there's more tourists coming through. And in each one of this, it is a multiplier of what is needed with regards to job creation. So just to come back to you, Lorinda, I will support anything that is firstly not a danger or threat for our environment. And in the same breath, can create job opportunities and grow the economy of this country and must be to the benefit of local people. So we must get those processes on the road. Thank you very much. I think maybe if you want to answer Mr. Massain's question, I would just like to say to the last part of that, and I don't want to in any way politicize today's discussion, but it is a responsibility that we do everything that we do to attract more investment in this country, more tourists. We as government, we do not create jobs. We must create an environment that is conducive for the private sector to do so. And we must create an environment that will attract investment. And it is not good if a rich German or French or US or Chinese investor comes here and there is no water. We've got to sort that out. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Minister. Let me start with Cape Agulhas, the facility right here. We also have a conference center there. There's also a place to have meetings there. We need to begin to promote that companies municipalities, they can come here and have their meetings and their conferences. If they come to have their meetings here, there's some benefit and income for the Lighthouse Precinct, but also for the surrounding guest houses, the surrounding restaurants. So that's one idea that we must also promote around this. Minister Okam is correct on the issue of infrastructure. Because even if you want to extend and build any new buildings, you have to start with the municipality to see if they have got the bulk services. If Cape Agulhas didn't have the bulk services here in terms of underground sanitation, sewerage, water, electricity, it was not going to be possible to build something here because more people will be coming in. So again, the issue of cooperation between the different spheres of government. The municipalities have got their integrated development plan where they make the assessment of what will be needed in this area in the next 5 years. Then they connect with the provincial government and then with national government. But the issue of water. South Africa is a water scarce country. And we're going to have then droughts, then floods, because of climate change. The weather patterns are changing. So we also need to have a campaign by the municipality to save water. That we don't wait until we don't have water. And then we want to save. You need to save water as a resource in your daily life and the way you manage water. So that is an important point. Well, in terms of some of the challenges for tourism, the one is, of course, we want to bring more arrivals to come to our country. Because for every 13 tourists that we welcome to South Africa, we create 1 direct job and 2 indirect jobs. So it is the duty of the South African tourism as the entity of the department to do destination marketing and market South Africa as a destination to visit. We're working together with the Department of Home Affairs. For the first time now, we have digitized our visa application system. It is now possible for any person, anywhere in the world, on your cell phone, on your computer, you can apply for a visa. And the good news is the turnaround time is sometimes less than 2 hours, but never more than 24 hours, because everything is digital now. And that is a big enabler for tourism. So we have estimated with the new visa system that Mr. Schreiber has brought in, that we will be able to attract annually at least 80,000 more tourists coming to our country. The same with the international ones, the ones from Africa, from all continents around the world. They have to fly here. So we've got a good partnership and we're working together with the airlines, Minister Chris in the Department of Transport, to bring more flights here. President Ramaphosa always says that for every problem there is a solution. And we will find those solutions to grow the tourism sector. I thank you.
Good afternoon. I think it was Diane that had asked about the surrounding areas and the benefit that surrounding areas may or may not get. As SANParks, we want to tell you that we prioritize local procurement, skills development, capacity building, and it's for the communities around there. This morning I traveled 40 kilometers from Honeston to here, and from Honeston to here, there are many opportunities that we can see that can be beneficial to the communities. I also want to say right here at today's event, there are benefits to provide managing stores, maintenance of the facilities that have been built, and working in the restaurant, accommodation, B&Bs around. So there are and there will be many benefits, and I would like the community to take that away with them. But we do need to work together. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take another round of questions. Please put up your hand. I'm going to come to you. Please be short, sharp, and straight to the point. Introduce yourself.
Good day, I'm Sandra from the Yellow Exodus Raad. I just want to emphasize the question that our sister from Arniston raised. But in particular, Minister De Long, from Yellow, as you know, it is a Moravian mission station. We representatives of the most concentrated descendants of enslaved and Khoi people. Now, we're in this region where we welcome all economic development and tourism, but unfortunately, communities like Arniston, Elim, Buffelsbaai, ons like aan die agterspeer because we don't have regular transport with all the opportunities, whether it's in Bredasdorp or Gansbaai, Overstrand, Overberg. We don't have transport to get to those places to exercise our right to engage in the opportunities. Ons mense moet aan sy pad staan en hy. And that doesn't get anywhere to exposure for regular, permanent opportunities that we can exploit. So my question to the panel is, are we having discussions for integrated development with the Department of Roads and Works? The gravel road has been prepared from Elim to Struisbaai, I would think, and Nadalis. When is it going to be completed? And it started for years. So transport and road infrastructure will help us to exercise the right to engage in the opportunities. But without that, it's a big barrier to development.
Thank you so much for that, Zelda. There was another hand here. There's somebody with their hand up here. Okay, let's go.
Today, my name is Andy Olster, from Elim. Firstly, I want to say thank you very much to all those involved in establishing this project over here. In Elim, we definitely have the spillover from the tourists coming to the southernmost point of Africa. And we see tourists from all over the world coming there weekly in numbers. But we would like to have those numbers increased, and so I'd like to ask Minister De Long, can we more aggressively market Elim as a tourist destination? Then, because it's the 4th oldest mission station in South Africa. Then to Minister Open, we've had a devastating fire surrounding Elim. But thankfully, the Lord has spared the village. But in that, our floral kingdom has been decimated. The fynbos, which provides income to the community. Now, Minister, my question is, can we have some assistance to combat the alien invasion? Because I believe it must be done within the first year of the fire. And we don't have the manpower or the resources to do that. So we appreciate any assistance coming from that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Let's come over here.
Good morning, my name is Jerome Daris. I'm a resident of Struisbaai North. I'd like to propose some recommendations. First of all, to encourage more tourism, we have every Saturday a park run. We'd like to all to participate. And it's a 5-kilometer park run. At the tip of Africa, it's the turnaround is just at the pools. And we have it every Saturday. However, there's a special one on the 27th of April. So we'd like to encourage you to do that as well. Secondly, we'd like to encourage township tourism, especially in our Strathspey North area. We don't have any B&Bs there. It would be most important and uplifting and provide employment for our people in Strathspey North. I think also the people in Strathspey North should come together, because there's a lady that good sisters, she bakes some nice Vietnamese there, she's sitting right there. If there's another lady and gentleman that does special milk care there as well in Strathspey, besides the bread that they also bake in Strathspey North. So those people could come together and form some sort of cooperation or cooperative. It would really encourage. Then I'd also like to propose, at the same time, we could possibly encourage, train, and educate youth to do township tourism, because that is what we did in Houtbeek, in Mizamieto, and in the informal sector there. The final thing I'd like to say, please encourage people to come to the most southern part of Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Jerome. Berenice, I hope that you came with a bucket of Cook Sisters, so that we can prove whether Jerome is right or not. Sorry, there was a hand that was up over here. Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Berenice, I'm from Italy. And I don't know it, but I just want to ask, will there be any opportunity for people studying tourism in Asia, so that we can come to practice, because it's very hard finding stuff, because like such as in the overwork and I've been everywhere, they say no, they're closed. Or if you ask part of something, they want you to be a part of their business, because if something happens to you, there's going to be a lot of money that they're losing. I just want opportunities for people who have finished studying, because now we have to work here and there, and then you do a good job, but then they be like, no, your contract ended.
Thank you so much for that. Minister, over to you.
Let me go first. We must approach what we are doing here today, that this Cape Agulhas Precinct must be the center of the whole of this district. And how do we then answer all of those questions? How do everyone in the district benefit? Those towns like Elim, Buffelsjagte, you're all part of the same district. It's easier said than done. We need to get to the how part. How are we going to do it? Because we mustn't sit here and make promises. The first thing that we need to do, and I informed the minister this morning, right at your reception there, at your interpretation center, we are going to install digital infrastructure, computers. And so that when these visitors come here from all over the world, they're able to see there the pictures of what else they can do in the district. They can go to Elim, they can go to this small Dolpy, they can go to this township. And that is where we are going to need the help of the community, to help us to identify those historic sites and whatever you feel is important that tourists can visit while they are in the district. When they come here, they mustn't drive back to Cape Town. They must know from here they can go to Elim, and this is what they're going to do. So we're going to ask the community to help us to identify those tourist attraction facilities that people can go and see. Will you help us with that? You live here, you know exactly where. You know the history of Elim. I agree with you. Because although this is going to be the center, but we must spread the benefits to the whole district. And our district mayor is here. We can all work together to work out those benefits so that it's not just here, but across across the district that can benefit. I think what we also need to do as the Department of Tourism is to make available more information about the training that we are doing. We saw this morning this beautiful kitchen that has been built here. We invest and we train people in culinary skills in the kitchen. Sometimes it's a lack of sharing information of what can be done. We have a program to assist graduates and interns. We have interns where we, like the lady said over there, you are qualified. Sometimes they are not fully qualified because they've done the theory at school, but now they need to go and do their practicals in some restaurant or place to get their diploma. We have just approved almost 1,800 of those students that have done their theory and need to go and do their practicals. As part of the department's new assistance to get people fully qualified. Because the unfairness for me with this is that the responsibility is put to the student to go and find a place where they can do their practicals. It's not fair. It should be the training institutions that take that responsibility to make sure that we place them so that they can get their certificate. So we can share that information with you. I can't agree more with you about the small towns, the dorpies, the townships. But for me, it's the beginning of a long journey. But I want the officials from the Department of Tourism that is here today, we will introduce you to them. Let us make that first connection and agree on how we are going to take this forward. So I was just trying to put everything together because the other opportunity that's here, there is also a curio shop there. There are shops here that produce local things. If things are produced in Buffelsjacht or Elim, there must be a way that you can use this where we know there are lots of people coming to come and sell. So thank you for those ideas. It's the first seeds that we are planting and we will take them forward.
Thank you very much. Henry, I think it was Henry that asked the question about Elim. I'm glad that you can see the spillover of tourists into Elim, and yeah, we see that frequently now. We get floods, we get raging veld fires, and colleagues, anybody that does not agree with the fact that climate change is a huge threat for us must just come and see the severity of this. We saw that with the floods in the KwaZulu-Natal and Mpumalanga and Limpopo provinces. We saw that with veld fires here in the Western Cape. It really is becoming a huge problem. When we talk about fynbos, nature is a wonderful thing because fynbos every 10 to 15 years need to have a veld fire. The problem that we've got is if there are too many alien invasive plant species there, those veld fires become too hot. And that is what we've got to, on a continuous basis, make sure that we clear out alien vegetation. When, let me give you an example. Protea, it needs that heat and smoke of a fire for the seeds to be able to grow. So it is important, and it will come through. But the threat now is for alien and invasive plants to take over that. And we need to work together. My department, through the Working on Water program, is assisting with that, and we will come and do an assessment and see what the situation is. I will instruct them to do that so that we can have first-hand experience of what you need there. But we must also, again, do that within a balance. Sometimes you need some of that shade now for those small seedlings to grow through the winter and not get frost. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what's going to happen, but I'll definitely arrange that we send our people there and make sure that if it is important that we now send a proper team in and do the alienation of those alien plants, then we'll do that definitely. Thank you.
Colleagues, thank you very much. Saki Franken, District Mayor. There was a question from the lady from Elam about transport. And I'm very glad that you asked that question, because I have got good news for you. So together with the Western Cape government, we actually busy working on a plan together with Minister Isaac Saleko, our Minister of Transport and Mobility in this province of ours. So a couple of months ago, you would have heard that we're also busy now trying to revive the railway system in Overberg. And we're quite far down the line with that as well. That's quite a big passion for me. Being from the agricultural sector myself and being a businessman, I just realized that roads and infrastructure, the railways and so forth, that's the lifeline of the economy in this region. Not just this region, but the rest of South Africa as well. So on the rural bus system you spoke about, I'm very passionate about that as well. And part of this very study that we're busy with the railway system as well, part of that will be for a rural bus system as well. So in the Western Cape, you will remember that in the city of Cape Town, we've got the Go, or my city bus system. It's working like a charm. In George, there is the Go George system. But both of those systems are highly subsidized. So again, I think the theme of today is partnerships and working together. And this is one place we need to work together with national, provincial and local government in order to get things done. So the rural bus system will look something like this. I'm from a small little dorpie as well. I live in just outside of Swellendam, also a place called Agulhas, where you get the nice roosterkoek. So there's small little dorpies all around Agulhas, like Berrydale, like Seabrook. And the main town there is Swellendam. So there's old tummies needing to go to the hospital or clinic from Berrydale, for instance, to Swellendam, and they are highly dependent on SASSA. So to get a bus ticket or a taxi ticket from Berrydale to Swellendam will cost you anything between 400 and 600 rand one way. And that's just not affordable. So we're working on a rural bus system. Again, unfortunately, highly subsidized, but this is where the partnerships comes in. And I think that's extremely important for us to do that. This is something that I took upon myself. This is something, Minister Dillon, I think that we can, in the Overberg, maybe pilot for the rest of the country. So, colleagues, there's 44 district municipalities right through the country. And the Overberg, I must say, is right there on top. We are at the forefront of doing things a bit different, but getting things done. Minister spoke about the flooding. So 2 years ago, we had this, we call it the Heritage Day flood, 24 September 2024, yeah, it was. So that flood cost us, this district, 880 million rand one day in infrastructure. So to repair a gravel road, 1 kilometer will set this municipality back anything in the vicinity of 650 to 850,000 rands per kilometer. That's the cost. To build a surface road costs you anything in the vicinity of between 15 and 24 million rand per kilometer. So the question was that when's the road going to be connected between Buffelsbaai and Struisbaai? The unfortunate truth is, unfortunately, there's just not enough money in the budget, not in the national fiscus and not in the provincial fiscus as well. But the rest of the district, the connecting roads, it's not always as good as we want them to be. But I can tell you this, every year in this district, we drive every single kilometer of gravel road. Every single kilometer. There's a priority list for every single kilometer of gravel road, and we do an audit every single year. And every single year for the last 9 years, the Overberg district came up tops in the country. So I've got my MM director here, Mr. Evan Phillips. Thank you very much for you and your team that's doing an exceptional job in doing that. And it's because of you, the people, that we can know about the vrotplekke and the fire. And I would like to thank you for that as well. So, yeah, like a good politician, I think I need to stop now.
Sorry, thanks very much. This is a response to both Henry and Zelda from Elam. And just as Mr. Alcom had spoken earlier about, climate change is real, as SANParks, we just want to assure you we do have an alien invasive species management, and this is done through SANParks Biodiversity Special Program, and it's to try to reduce the spread of fire and to alleviate the climate change impacts. And it is funded, Minister, by DFE. As Minister said earlier, working with the water program, certainly it is. And just on a completely different note, the communities may know this, but we do as SANParks, we have a park bus that brings communities. It's not like yours, it's, we're going to build roads and stuff, but we have a park bus that brings communities and schools to the park, in particular Kids in Park. It's a big program of ours and other community events. This bus is operated and maintained by SANParks. It doesn't cost the community anything, but please engage with it. Thank you.
I think we all need to put our money where our mouth are. And let us start with, as from today, how many locals, and I mean locals in the district, can we bring in to come and see this facility? Excursions from Elam, from Buffelsbaai, our school children. We need to talk to the Department of Education to bring our school children here to come and learn and see. With the Department of Tourism, let's plan that excursions for the local people to come and see this facility. For me, that is the first action that we need to put together with SANParks. We've done it with SANParks at Gedumodumo. We agreed with SANParks. There you have to pay to come. There you have to pay to go in. Our CEO from SANParks here, she made it possible that for the first 6 months there was no entrance fee, and we were able to take, in partnership with the Department of Education, thousands of school children to come and see the Gedumodumo Dinosaur Interpretation Center. So my suggestion is that that is the first action plan. Of course, it is the school holidays in September, but we can also look at weekends. I don't know if the facilities, everything is open here. But for me, that will be the first action plan for all of us sitting here in front. The second point that I want to make is that I don't want to lose the ideas that came up from people as it relates to tourism. I want your name, I want your contact details, and we have our Department of Communication here. The lady's name is Tasneem Karim. Where are you, Tasneem?
She's out.
She's outside, Minister, but Masiape Mufokeng, whose hand is up, will be assisting.
Yes. There is, you can contact her, give us your contact details with those ideas and questions that you have asked so that we respond properly to you. So please contact her, and then Tasneem, come Tasneem, I want to see you. Any of the two of them for any tourism related issues, let's get your contacts to them. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Minister. We are about to close off the engagement. I'm going to take one last round, but Minister, before we go to that one last round, we have a gentleman here, Alliston Apple, who wants to quickly make a remark.
Thank you, Minister and Alderman. I'm the Socio-Economic Transformation Officer for Agulhas National Park, and I work on a contract basis since 1998, and we assisted the Elam community with working for water projects, and we can look at that again. There is really experts in the community, retired already, that can manage such projects. That's it. And through the department, it was DIA, etc. I put proposals through to Gasidra. We have a guest house, arts and crafts center. The challenge is just how do we manage? We heard SANParks commit to manage. So communities must also commit to manage and then be sustainable and be profitable. I'm not pointing fingers, but it's the feasibilities like Minister Okam explained. The park, we have corporate social investment. We bought a community bus, not for a school, but the park manage it. And we will engage community groups to visit this facility and the park, and even do excursions to museums and products, etc. And we, since 2006, we ran a successful Kids in Parks program. So not boasting about Agulhas National Park or SANParks, but it's real benefit. And we look forward to engage from the ground up to ministerial level, seeing what we can do, but not just putting money, but that the benefits can be continuous into the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Alliston.
My name is Celia Lawrence. I'm representing the Residents Association of. Hi, my name is Celia Lawrence. I'm representing the SANParks Residents Association. In partly, my question was answered. It's about the road between Bredasdorp and the precinct. Thank you so much for what has been decided already. The problem is not between Bredasdorp and the junction between or the start of Strasbourg. The problem is from the beginning of Strasbourg to the precinct itself. As you all experienced, the road is not good. Please look into the budget and see what you can do to get this road fixed. We do have a problem, and according to Minister Dalal, there is money, it should only be managed.
Thank you so much, Minister. You've been quoted there. There is money, just needs to be managed. We had a hand that was up here in front. Okay.
Goedemorgen allemaal. Ja, kijk hier. Mijn naam is Benny. Ik ben een Anderstenaar, maar ik heb ook 41 jaar getrouwd in de Haagstad. Ik heb voor eigen steeds meester. Ik heb clubwerking gedaan. En ik heb clubwerking geplaatst. En in Afrika was ik op voorrecht om mijn Afrika te bouwen. En had ik een keer kwaad geworden, en ik wil vragen. Die Afrika daar zie ik, voor de beste toilet zitten. Toilet zit aan de pictorial toilet. Wacht gaat ik met de kantoor. Als een pictor. En dan heb ik voor IJsland bezig zijn. Gozer, maar mooi kwaad. Ja, dan speeding, hoeveel vloegen moet speeding, dit jongen. Als 6 meter. 6 takjes. Droog zit in het paal. Pat. En hier gewoon aan. Dan moet er nog kracht op van die hoek. En dan moet er nog heel kracht op de hoek in. En dan moet er water op nog gedaan. Mijn naam is Palimut. Ik was bevoorrecht voor de Afrika-bouw. Gepleidheid, 9 maanden. En hier ook. Maar dank je voor alles.
Let's give a round of applause to Billy there. Well done, Billy. Well done. One last question or comment, and then we wrap up.
Thank you. Alexander Kababeya, Manager Socio-Economic Development at Cape Hotel's Municipality. So for me, we've been having a long problem in terms of seasonal fishing in Anniston and also in Streesbaai. Our small harbours have a very big challenge. In Anniston in particular, they struggle to either pull back their chappies back to land, and then for several years they've been getting tractors which they need to submerge into the water to launch their chappies. And with that said, it becomes a problem because there is no way that a tractor is going to last a long lifetime. Our harvest needs an upgrade. We've got a winch there that does bring back the chappie, but do not launch the chappie. So if there can be investment in that infrastructure, which will then assist in the chappies also supplying fish to the Needles restaurant, and also our chappie owners, they want to, out of season, they also want to tap into tourism. But then how do we tap into tourism when we do not have a safe launching place for the tourists to actually board onto these chappies? You know, our chappies might need some interventions in terms of upgrades, we need training and so forth. So such can then alleviate the seasonality in terms of tourism in our area and also address the other challenges of the chappies taking time to bring back fish from the ocean and then sending into supplies. We are also in the need of obviously refrigeration where they can then store this fish for the long-term sale, because the guys that are utilizing speedboats will then sell the fish at a higher price than when the guys who are focused on selling fish alone, they then tend to come at a later stage, then they end up selling fish at a very small margin and not making a profit. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Minister, through you, can we please take that last hand there at the back? And then we'll get the answers and the closing remarks from the Deputy Minister, Maggie Sulu.
Good day, I'm Patrick Weaver, I'm resident of Gillam. I just want to ask to the panel, many people from this region at the moment find themselves in the Cape Peninsula. And we all know that things are not well in all areas in the peninsula. But there are many people who want to come and come to visit their roots. How do we accommodate them? We know tourism can be very expensive. How do we make it affordable for South Africans in general to come and have a good time in this region? Thank you. And the other one is, we want to promote this area, and we know that at the moment there are plans to build a nuclear power station in this vicinity. So, yeah. I just want to know what is the process at this stage? Is it feasible studies still open, or how can we can contribute our how can we add, or how can we participate in the process? Thank you.
There's somebody here who just quickly wants to clarify that.
Yeah, thanks. Can I just add on to the question, really, intended or proposed site for a pebble bed nuclear facility, either that or near Kupa. Now, as we heard from Arneston, Buffalo, and our, historically our communities are very connected to the fishing villages, and Minister Dodal, I know you've got a passion for this and an understanding of what happens when drilling happens, then the fish go deeper into the sea, and our fisher folk lose out. So with this nuclear pebble bed facility, here we're promoting, and the question was how do we get better launching facilities and promote the fishing community, and to prop that up historically to our roots with the land and the sea. But the counter action is that of a nuclear facility. So how do this development speak to each other when one could be in direct opposition or contradiction with the other? So at this point in this area, I don't know, and I'm not saying I'm speaking for everyone, but we have serious questions around a nuclear pebble bed facility. En dan is het bekommerd oor die visserman. Maar die visse in die see gaan drol, en dan wat oor, dan sit ons met lig. Soos ons sit met 'n melkery, ons betaal dieselfde vir melk. Nou sit ons met 'n nuclear facility, en die vis is diep in die see, en ons mense kan nie daar gaan leef nie. Wat dan vir ons? So we can plan tourism en vooruit gaan, maar ons mense gaan agteruit as daai fasiliteit hier is. All the departments talking to each other, dat ons development vir die hele gebied is.
Thank you so much for that. Minister, including your panel, over to you.
Thank you. There was quite a lot of questions. Let me again start with the last one. I think the Minister of Electricity, Minister Ramagopa, will be in a much better position to tell you where the process this is. From my department side, we will become involved when there are appeals against the environmental impact assessments. Again, it is our responsibility to make sure that there's a balance. What you are saying might be true, but it's also not totally true. There are certain fish species, they don't just go deeper into the sea. There are certain fish species that they swim naturally and breed closer to the shore. So they're not going to go in deeper. But they might go away, and that you now have got to see what the effect of that would be. So any project like that must have a thorough environmental impact assessment. We, from our side, will do everything in our power as forestry, fisheries and the environment to make sure that the balance between that project, creating jobs, growing the economy, as well as the environmental situation in that area are respected. We will not shy away from saying in an appeal that we do not approve that. And if we do not approve that, that is the final word unless they want to take us to a court, which we regularly see. So there must be that balance. But here's the problem as well. On the one hand, you get criticism for something like that, and in the same hall, somebody else stands up and say, please, when that project comes, we want jobs. So you are never going to be able to keep everybody 100% happy. From my mandate, as long as the environment is not jeopardized, that is from my mandate the core thing. To come to another question regarding the fishing community and especially Arneston Harbour, a few months ago, myself, together with the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Dean McPherson, visited Arneston Harbour. Our harbours are owned by the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, DPWI, and the small harbours are managed by Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment. So we've got to, again, work together. Like we saw with this project, we've got to, over departments, take hands and work together. We know that there are problems with launching of boats there, and the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure is looking into what we can do. I have this morning, before I came here, took a quick stroll down to the harbour here at Agulhas. I almost fell when I slipped on the algae there. But there are also concerns that there is work that needs to be done. We will on a continuous basis do that. There are also, though, a responsibility from the communities. You've got the cooperatives that have been formed that work together. And we've got to see how we can capacitate those. The day when we were there, I don't know whether you were there when we visited Honeston, we also had NGOs that are assisting the cooperatives with getting their structures up and managing their finances and making sure that things work. But it cannot only be a matter of, let's say, for example, government must give a tractor. It's the responsibility of that cooperative to manage that tractor and to maintain that tractor. It's not a one-way street. We will help where we can, but we need to have co-responsibility on this. With regards to refrigeration, if I remember correctly, there was an old refrigeration container there at Honeston that was not maintained, and the Minister of Public Works is looking into how we can either get a new one there or get what is there finished repaired properly. But I'm talking under correction now, because I have visited quite a number of harbours. Just on that point again, we must have a balance between what local communities that are in a place throughout the year want and what something that stimulates that economy also requires. When fishing communities speak to me, they are sometimes not satisfied with what happens over December months when visitors come here. We've got to find that balance and work together with us. Because I can tell you now, if those visitors aren't coming here, we won't have been building something like this. A restaurant like Needles will not make money if it is not for tourists that also comes here and also wants to put their boats in the water and do recreational fishing. We've got to live and let live and work with each other. But we are pushing that with regards to Honeston and other harbours. We are working together with the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure. And I must say, it's good to see how working together, Minister De Lille, can really lead to results. If I, as Minister of Forestry, are going to try and do that on my own, I will never succeed because it's not my responsibility. If DPWI wants to do that alone, they will not succeed because they need our inputs. And that is also, Minister De Lille, something that really touches tourism, our fishing community, because a lot of tourists come here to also do fishing. We will take hands on that. I don't know whether I've missed anything, any question that I need to answer.
Yeah. I want to make a suggestion, Mayor Franken, because I meet with the district municipality every quarter. And the one issue that has come up constantly this morning is the roads and the access roads. Mayor, I will suggest that we put that on our agenda for our district meetings. And we also put it onto our agenda, the upgrade of small harbours, so that we can get some information from Minister McPherson. I know there's a plan to upgrade small harbours and then share information with the communities what Minister McPherson is planning to do with the Honeston Harbour. And then you know that it won't disappear, but it's on the agenda and we will give feedback on a quarterly basis. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Minister. I think it's a great idea, and we will definitely put it on our district coordinators forum, where you are part of it. Minister, there was a question from Celia Lawrence, the residents' associations of this area, about the road between Struisbaai and this precinct. And I can just maybe mention to Celia that so the Overberg district has got another mandate, not the same mandate as the local municipality, Cape Agulhas municipality. So the road that you mentioned is definitely a municipal road, but that said, the Overberg district is assisting wherever we can with municipal roads as well. Not our mandate, but of course it's in our region and we need to assist each and every one. So this road is quite high up on the priority list as well, and I see quite a lot of my Cape Agulhas colleagues here, from Councillor Mokotwana, Councillor Ekstein, and Alderman Dirk Jantjies, my old friend. So I think after this meeting, we will definitely convene. The Overberg district assisted the Cape Agulhas municipality with a similar road to this, the one leading down to Sailorstrand as well. It was in a very bad state, and they came to us and said, but isn't there a way we can take hands and maybe spend money and upgrade the road from here down to Sailorstrand as well? And we did exactly that. We broke a bit of new ground and assisted the Beam municipality in spending money on a Beam municipal road. So again, Director Eben Phillips, thank you very much for leading that charge. So that will be put on the priority list. It's actually quite high up on the priority list. I just want to say something about the R319, and that's the road leading from Bredasdorp to Struisbaai. So Struisbaai is expanding rapidly, similar to Swellendam on the other side, also the 319. So there's a big wind farm being built now as we speak on the Swellendam side on that road, and so there is going to be an upgrade of the 319 all the way from the N2 down from Swellendam down to Bredasdorp and all the way down to Struisbaai in the next financial year. We're just waiting for the wind farm to be finished because those trucks are really buggering up the 319. But the moment they finish in the next financial year, this is the coming financial year, the excavation is going to be started and there's going to be a new road built all the way from the N2 down to Struisbaai. Thank you.
Is it my turn now?
Okay, it's now the turn of our Deputy Minister of Tourism, Maggie Sokyu, who's going to give us the closing remarks as well as the way forward. Deputy Minister.
No, thank you very much, Program Director. I'm not going to, because I'm standing between you and your lunch now. So I'm going to take less than the Minister has been afforded to me. Because the ministers here has already responded, and also the municipality and SANParks, they have responded to most of the questions that has been asked here. Mine is just to say that I'm not even making a closing remark. I'm summarizing. But in that summarizing, I'm saying that we are committed, actual fact, and also indicate to this community that you are very fortunate. The president, when he decided to deploy all ministers and deputy ministers in his cabinet to go and work with the municipalities and the districts and the metros, my sister, whom I always call as Auntie Pat, I'm working very close with her as her deputy. And I think today's subject actually works well with me because my last 5 years, I was working in this department, that is DFFE. So I'm enjoying each and everything that has been said here. And I'm even more excited about the difficult questions. It's not me that is supposed to respond to those questions. There is a lot of questions that has been asked that has to do with other departments, which are not part of us here. But since this establishment of the district model service delivery by the president, the champion of this place is Minister Dede. Ours is to make sure that we support Minister Dede. I even noted most of the issues that had been raised here, and then it tells me that I think one thing that is lacking, of which I'm prepared to support you, my sister, because you are supporting me in the Free State. And also this gentleman, this side, this is our boss. We can't travel without him signing. Therefore, he must always be next to us so that he can see that this is what we do with the government funds. Minister, I was thinking when I listened to some of the questions that were raised here, maybe during your visit to the district, you should also come with yourself so that we have a session where we address the SMMEs and what kind of support that we as a department, we are giving to the SMMEs. That is the business people. Non-financial and financial support that we are giving to the business community here. And I'm also excited the fact that this amazing facility that is being handed over today, I'm 100% sure, CEO, that you will be in a position of making sure that what you are doing in Kodimodumo, in my own province, you do the same here. I visit Kodimodumo now and then. It's one of the best in South Africa. Now this must also be one of the best in South Africa. Ours is to make sure that we have more visitors that are coming to these areas. If there is anywhere where you need support, Minister of Tourism is the champion of this area. Even this other department that we have mentioned, it is Minister Dede's responsibility to make sure that the information do then go to those other departments in order for them then to assist the community of this area. Program directors, I'm saying that the way forward, they set the way forward themselves because there was a lot of proposal that came from both the ministers, which is the part of way forward. But you are stuck with them until 2029. She's yours. Anything, we are only supporting her. Thank you very much, President.
Thank you so much, Deputy Minister of Tourism, Maggie Sotu, our Director General, Victor Vele, the Minister of Tourism, Patricia DeLille, and also we have the Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Willie Okam, who was joined by the Interim Board Chairperson of the South African National Parks, Beryl Ferguson, as well as the Overberg District Executive Mayor Alderman Andries Franken. And that brings us to the end of this engagement. Thank you so much for engaging with us and engaging with our principals as well. For those who still want to get in contact with the Department of Tourism, if you can look at those banners over there, those banners have all our contact details there. And you can also be in touch with Masiape Mufokeng, who was here a bit earlier on that the minister pointed to. There she is. As well as Tasneem. Once again, thank you so much. I'm going to ask you to please remain seated. We are breaking now for lunch, and I'm going to ask the panel over here to... Oh, jeez, that's how hungry I am. That's how hungry I am. My apologies, Mayor. It's over to you.
I'm always hungry, so I know what you're talking about, colleague. Colleagues, thank you very much for being here. Firstly, I would like to start with my colleagues on my right, the ministers. We from the Overberg can't thank you enough for what you are doing for us and the communities in the Overberg, and especially rural areas like this. Colleagues, we just touched on budgets and money that's being spent. And we just heard this morning that 81 million rand was spent on this facility from both these departments. And in my other life, I'm an economist as well. And we normally do the calculations and see what return on investment is. So return on investment from an investment like this in a rural area like this is immense. So 31 jobs, permanent jobs was created here. But the jobs ad infinitum going forward, that's going to create it out of something like this will be immense. And the impact that this will have on a community like the Cape Agulhas community is amazing. And I can only thank you for that, ministers. Colleagues, we're very blessed and we're very honored to have Minister De Lille as this district's minister. Our president allocated Minister De Lille to the Overberg district, and right through the difficult times, the easy times as well, but through the difficult times, Minister De Lille stood right next to me, be it flooding, being the 42,000 hectares of veld we lost in the recent veld fires. Minister De Lille was the one standing right next to me. So if there's a call need to be made, I could just pick up the phone and call my colleague and say, Minister, you need to assist. And thank you very much for that, Minister. Colleagues, now I'm the one standing between you and lunch. So our program director is going to cut me off. Clearly, he's the hungry one. But thank you very much for you, the community. Thank you very much for making our work easy. Thank you very much for always be there. And I think the takeaway from today is partnerships. Partnerships with the community, partnerships with the business sector, with local government, provincial government, and national government. In this beautiful country of ours, we can't make it happen without partnerships and collaboration. And this is what we see here. When there's good partnership, things like this happen. And I would like to thank my colleagues here on my right for that. Thank you, ministers. Thanks a lot.
And with that said, should we count it down? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's lunchtime. Thank you much, everybody. And enjoy this place and get as many people to come and visit. Thank you. Have a beautiful day further. Please, can we sit on this side? Can we just remain?
And we will continue to do this because we must preserve our historic, cultural, natural sites. And I want to call on all tourists, domestic and international, to put this place, Cape Agulhas, as part of their bucket list. It's a must-see for all tourists around the world. Thank you.
This project shows